Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Please be joined by Dylan Newsome. How's it going?
It's going perfect, man. Hope you are.
So kind of just just before we get into past seasons or how this year went, just kind of just talk a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Dylan Newsome. Obviously, I'm 25. I'm out of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Been racing about 6 years. We've moved into full-blown late model stock now. Planning on running Wake County and Kinley, and we've moved up from Charger and mini stock, and I think we got a good program going for ourselves, and hopefully going to be able to continue that.
Okay, so going into this just kind of maybe start like usually ask this when racers that haven't came on here. How did you like get into racing and all that?
My dad raced, but it was a bit before my time. I can't really remember him ever racing. But I know he drove a lot of mini stock, drove a lot of late model sportsmen, drove a lot of dirt racing, tons of dirt racing at Wilson County, just stuff I've heard. And he pretty much told me throughout school if I got straight A's, I would get a race car. And so obviously I got a race car after school, not during. I was a little lazy in class, but
Sure.
I was working for my dad at the time. He's got a small used car dealership here in town. And one day I showed up to the office and he told me to step into the back, and in the back little wash bay, he had bought a 4-cylinder race car. And the next week we were out there testing it, and it was a learning curve for sure, but we caught on really quick. My first race, we qualified on the pole ahead of the track champion and the national champion in mini stock that year for I think 4-cylinder mini stock is Division 3. But we sat on the pole ahead of them. But I ended up finishing third that race. My headphones messed up, and I'd never been on the racetrack with another car, so I was a little terrified. I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it, and from then on, I always kind of, I guess, strive to be better, and we just pushed and slowly made advances into the next chapter, and now we're pretty much, I guess, as far as I can currently go in local racing.
Yeah. Okay, so just kind of like go and go into like what you've accomplished. Like when did you start racing?
It would be 2017.
Okay.
That's when we got into a 4-cylinder. I got into a V8 car in early 2019. We didn't really run a whole lot of races that year. We had a lot of stuff going on around the house. We probably only ran like 3 races, but we won 2 of them. The third one we had an issue with a tire. A tire went down. But the next year we went back to running a full season. We ran Southern National and Carteret County Speedway in Charger and won both of those track championships that year. I think we got 9 wins out of like 16 or 17 races, and then moved up, kind of eased into limited late model. I built a different car, and we try to ease our way into it and everything. And we did decent. My very first late model race we won. That was at Jacksonville. We started third and beat the previous track champion. Um, but and then the next year after that is when we went full blown late model stock at Carteret and also Jacksonville. We won 8 races in a row at Carteret County Speedway, and then we only won 2 at Jacksonville. It was Goodyear All American Speedway at the time. They've changed to New River, but we got both of those championships as well.
Yeah. Okay, so really what was I see you have a winning I believe that's a weekly series title but championship behind you, is it?
Yeah, so it was a Division 2 championship, I think, or Division 3, one of the two. That was Southern National Motorsports Park when they were NASCAR sanctioned, and that was 2 years ago. Yes, sir. But that's currently the only NASCAR title we have. But
Yeah, what was it just like to win that and stuff?
well, I thought it was awesome. We really dominated that year at Southern National. It was our rookie season, and we won the first, I think, 6 races in a row. The track ended up trying to protest my motor and everything. That's fine. That's part of racing. But it was really surreal because I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix my headphones. But it was really surreal. I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I didn't know being a rookie and everything coming out of a four cylinder if we were going to do good. But I was paired up with Wendell Davis at the time, and got a lot of respect for Wendell Davis. He's an awesome guy. He really helped us out a lot. Um, he ran a lot with Matt McCall and everything in late model stock racing, and he really helped our little program we had. And he taught me a whole lot, honestly, about these late model chassis. I wouldn't know what I know now without working with him.
So what's the plan for this year coming up?
For this year, we're going to be running Wake County Speedway in late model, and I think they probably got 17 or 18 races, as well as Southern National Motorsports Park. They probably 15 to 16 races with it, but race nights, and most of those would be twin nights, as well as running bigger races like the Fall Brawl at Hickory, um, Carteret's big race, Jacksonville's big race. Um, at least pop out to different places and expand our horizon.
Yeah, for sure. Really just how was 2023 for you?
I would say 2023 was successful. We mostly only ran Carteret County Speedway, trying some new stuff, trying different things out for on our cars, and it seems like every year they're finding something new, and we don't really get behind. I mean, it takes everybody a little bit to get it, but we only ended up running a few races at Carteret this year, and I think we won 4 times, won a track championship again, and I don't know, didn't have much luck at the Thanksgiving Classic, but that was due to a issue with a shock. Just went backwards from the start, got up to I think seventh at one point, and it had like 29 cars, and then just didn't really have a whole lot of luck there.
Yeah. Just like, this season, like what are your goals for 2024 this year?
My biggest goal is obviously to win. I do like championships and everything. I think they're really cool, but I like to win races. That's what I go for. I don't like finishing second. I absolutely hate it, especially knowing I had a chance to win. That's what tears me apart. But as long as we just, I can't even explain it, man. I'm going to the track to win. I'm determined to win. If I don't, I'm going to go home and tear it all apart and start over with the same plan.
So, I mean, in terms of getting the car to the track, and obviously for someone like you, it's like, is do you have any like other people helping you out or anything like that or something?
Yes, sir. So our team is mostly made up of family members and close friends. I got my dad and my brother and my uncle. Um, a gentleman named Jeff. He's a big help to us. Michael Rouse builds my engines. But other than that, we don't really have, as in like I don't take my cars to someone else. No one else keeps up my cars currently. No one else takes my cars to racetrack. It's all on us. Like everything is currently done in house. Um, but I mean, other than sponsors, it's just, I mean, it's kind of a small team effort.
Yeah. Big things. What are your goals like, like down the road? Like where do you see yourself like going? Do you see yourself staying just at the local level, or do you see other aspirations? Is whether it's Stars Tour, Cars Tour, NASCAR.
Well, I mean, I always do have like big dreams and everything. I'd obviously love to drive for a living. Like that would be the main goal. It really wouldn't matter where I ended up. Is if I could just drive a car for a living, that'd be absolutely awesome to do and compete for. But I I really don't know. I can't say a realistic goal other than going just as absolutely far as I can. I personally, like, I'm not trying to sound cocky. I feel like I can compete with some of the best given the same equipment, but sometimes that's not the case. A lot of times it's not the case, but I mean, we still outrun those guys. I mean, we outrun these hundred, $500,000 teams, $1 million teams that show up to the racetrack, and I don't know, just wherever I do end up, I plan on winning and being a threat to win wherever we end up.
Absolutely. How do you get like mentally ready for a race?
I try to be as confident as possible. it's not a good feeling when you go to a racetrack and you feel like the car is not enough. You're not really in the right mindset. I like jamming classic rock at times. Sometimes just try to put my headphones in and listen to some old school music, but nothing really to chill me out. It's more to kind of get me ready and get me amped up to get in the car. But either way, is pretty much as soon as I get in a race car and we get out on the track and get up to speed, it's kind of just like everything else just kind of fades away. I'm just in my own little space.
All right. So when is your next like scheduled race, you think?
Next scheduled race will be, I think, Speed Weeks at Southern National. They have a Speed Weeks March 2nd through the 7th, I believe. And I think we run 4 nights that week. I think a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday deal. And but that'll start off our season. And we plan on coming in pretty strong.
All right. Let's get to know you a little bit, Dylan. How about that?
All right, that's fine.
Most memorable race you've had?
Most memorable race. Um, I would say it might be the second race at Carteret last year, the opening season race. We busted a left front shock and we started outside pole to Connor Hall, and he was the national champion last year. And I'm talking, we sat, the times were almost identical. And but the first race didn't go to plan. We had a left front shock go bad. The second race, we qualified on the pole and led every single lap of the first one. And in the second one, had an invert and just I knew going in the first turn that the car was absolutely unreal. I felt like a 10-year-old could have driven that car, but it's I don't know, man. We just that was a good day. That was an awesome day. Lots of competitive guys out there, and I just felt like our car was on a different level, and I was in the zone and just was hitting my marks perfect. Everything. It couldn't have been a more perfect day.
Yeah. What's what's an interesting fact people don't know about you, Dylan?
Other than racing, I and I feel like most people do know. You can't really see it. But my house is literally like there's a door, it's a wall right here, and that is my house. I live in my shop. Um, but interesting fact, because I feel like all my friends mostly know that. I do love hot rods, old school stuff.
Okay.
My first car when I was 16, my dad bought me a 72 Monte Carlo, and that's what he drove to high school.
Nice.
And I think that's what really got me interested into the racing deal, is just not really dealing with those cars, but being able to kind of just drive it around. They don't drive like new cars. You got to really drive them, and they're hot rods. We mess with the engines and kind of tune them up to get rolling down the road pretty good. But I absolutely love old school anything, mostly Chevrolets. But I just like playing around with them. Love driving down the road. It really clears my head and stuff.
Yeah. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I was just talking to somebody about this today. Um, that's a tough one. I'm a big movie critic. I'm not critic, but I'm really hard on movies when I watch them, because I watch so many, and oh Jesus, I don't know. I could be cliche and say like Interstellar or something like that.
I do that.
Uh, I do like Shutter Island. There's a few, man. I like Shutter Island, Inception, Interstellar.
Yeah.
Um, just I don't know, Pearl Harbor. That's like a classic. you know,
Okay. Go-to place for food or your favorite food?
favorite food would definitely be steak. The top of the board easily is steak. Around town, my go-to place would be Texas Roadhouse. It's it's affordable and it's good.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right. Well, Dylan, thank you so much for the time as always, and best of luck in your racing season.
Yes, sir. Look, I appreciate you having me on.